Okay, Acolyte. It's out. I watched it, had a couple of days to kind of think about my thoughts on it. Before I get into the details of this show like I normally do when I talk about a review of a show, I have to get this out the way because it's been on my heart for a little bit now. After seeing Twitter, seeing the internet, there's a lot of nasty narratives and conversations that were had about this particular show. If you are a original trilogy fan, or even to an extent a prequels fan that just loves everything the George Lucas version of Star Wars had to offer, cool, enjoy that. This stuff just may not be for you. I'll equate this to the Miles Morales origin stuff of when he originally came out in Ultimate Spider-Man. People originally did not like Miles Morales. They felt he was a DEI inclusion. That's the hot phrase that I'm seeing all over Twitter from certain creators and certain people that are underneath those comment sections. First off, a lot of people don't understand what that means, but I digress. Miles Morales, when the movies came out, obviously had a big boom. Kids of all different shapes, sizes, shades, colors love this character. He is for this generation of fans. They built this character to be a part of the new generation. The same way a lot of this new Star Wars stuff is not just, it may not just be for a lot of the older fans. You can enjoy it. The job of the creators at the end of the day is to also make sure you are engaged in it, but their biggest job is to make sure that there are new fans coming in that will watch this stuff long after you're gone. So they can't just cater to you in every single intricacy and plotline thread and canonical strand that needs to be kept in place. They're not going to do that. I'm sorry. Maybe in the short term to get a lot of money, but long-term wise with the goal of the company, they're not going to do that. So again, let's say you just hate the stuff and you just don't want any more to come out. You know what the best thing you can do to assist in making sure it doesn't come out and it's not fruitful at all? You don't talk about it, nor do you hate watch the show. When you're hate watching something, like some of you guys are going to hate watch the rest of this video and comment some nasty shit on it, you're still going to benefit the creator at the end of the day because you're giving them your attention and your time and you're giving them free publicity and you're giving them free notoriety. So if you don't want it to happen, stop watching it. I promise you, if nobody watched this show and nobody talked about this show, they wouldn't make any more seasons. I promise you 100% that's how that would happen. That's just how Hollywood, how studios work. Again, if you're gonna be nasty or if you're gonna be racist, I'd prefer you just to be straight up with me. I can respect a racist person if they can just tell me they don't like something because it has a brown person in the lead. I'm like, cool, that's your belief. It's racist, but cool. I can understand you. I respect you for being straight up. But all the nasty talk because these people are brown, these people are women in this show and they're leading this, it's pretty nasty. I just wanted to get it out the way because it was annoying the hell out of me seeing it, and it made me kind of disappointed in some of my favorite creators, Star Wars creators that I've watched for a long time, either push and grift to make that content and enjoy engaging with people on that side of things in regards to a lot of the racist and misogynistic conversations and just entertain it. I don't believe that person, I'm not going to say the name, but I don't believe he was a individual who is that. I'm not going to call him a racist by any means. I don't know him to know that, but I'm not going to act like he wasn't indulging in a lot of that behavior and just eating up the attention that he got of it on his content, because that's been a thing that he's made a name off of as of late. Not even a name off of, but he's getting a lot of attention from that as of late. And it's disappointing to me, and I hope he does better in the future. I wish nothing for the best. I still enjoy his content. He was a great content creator in the sphere of Star Wars nerddom that I watched growing up. But yeah, people like that, him as well as other creators doing that kind of stuff, it really disappointed me a lot in seeing that. But I digress. To get into the actual breakdown of the show, because I had to get that out the way, the show was cool. The show had its high moments and the show had its low moments. And I think that's been the running trend for a lot of the Star Wars stuff that's come out of late. The show in particular, obviously the best thing that I can say about it, the fight choreography was great. This is probably some of the best fight choreography that we've seen, especially in lightsaber duels since the prequels. I will not say that any fight in this series was better than the Mustafar, Obi-Wan, and Anakin fight. I think that's still the best fight overall in Star Wars history to me. The one take, the athleticism of it all, the fact that those two actors were practicing and did that themselves, it was great. But I'm not going to act like that. Some of the core fight choreography, especially with the smiley Sith Lord, is like right underneath that. There's not too many other fights in Star Wars, if any, that I can think of that are better than that from a fight choreography standpoint. And again, if you feel differently on that, that is your opinion. That's perfectly fine. First and foremost, the directorial aspect of stuff was done pretty well. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a beautiful, beautiful series. The destinations were shot really well, the people were shot really well, and I like some of the techniques they used to showcase a lot of the twin stuff between May and Oshot that was done really well. The show just looks good from an aesthetic standpoint, and I will give that to it. And some of the acting performances, some of them were great. I love my guy, Manny Jacinto. He did great in this. I originally saw him on The Good Place and was really impressed with the range he has as an actor. In The Good Place, he was very much in the like aloof character and kind of goofy and kind of out of it. And this played a very much more calculating and like serious character. And I'm just always surprised when I see an actor that can do that drastic of a range change or a character change from role to role. I mean, I'm not surprised in an actor being able to do that, but I just enjoy it when it happens because not every actor can do it to that degree. And there were other cool performances in this. Carrie-Anne did a great job, and a lot of the other actors carried their own weight here. But I wanted to speak on Osha and make Amanda Steinberg's actor, because there's a lot, again, of nasty stuff being said about her and her acting. I want to give a honest critique. I enjoy her as an actor. I think she did a solid job at playing this character. I just think there were certain moments where she did lack some emotion, where she was robotic. But a lot of me, it was kind of reminding me a lot of the issues that Hayden Christensen had in the prequels in regards to his lack of emotion in certain scenes. I'm not sure if that's a directorial issue or this just them as an actor. I haven't seen enough of her acting to have a whole consensus on her as an actor. I think that a lot of people have this nasty thing to where they see an actor in like one, maybe two performances, and they judge that entirely of their acting ability and use that to be indicative of how good they are as an actor. I just don't think that's accurate. I just think it's disingenuous to kind of see a performance or two and just write them off. Because again, if people were only going off of Hayden Christensen as an actor in the prequels, people would say he's a terrible actor, and a lot of people did for a long time until quite recently, where he came back as Vader and Anakin in the Obi-Wan series, and to some extent in the Ahsoka series as well. That was a whole like 180 flip apparently in how people saw him as an actor. And a lot of that I think is directorial stuff. But she was solid. I enjoyed the character. I enjoyed a lot of the concepts that were shown here. Obviously, me being a long-term Star Wars fan, I will also admit that a lot of this stuff doesn't really make sense canonically, as far as some characters being older, some characters being a little too young, and some things is happening. Well, I think the biggest thing that I noticed was the Ki-Adi-Mundi. I'm so sorry, I killed his name. The Ki-Adi-Mundi issue that a lot of people were talking about, where his birthday was kind of changed to fit this, and if the show was happening in regards to Sith making an appearance and the Jedi Order knowing about it, then that 100% doesn't track with what he said in the prequels. Again, it came to be a thing at the end where you can say that he just didn't know because of the story that was woven. But again, I can understand that. And the biggest thing too, with Yoda making an appearance, with Plagueis making an appearance, a lot of people are kind of just annoyed with a lot of that stuff. This is the main reason why, if you watch my Star Wars wishlist video, I said that I wanted there to be a focus on the High Republic and the Old Republic era, and have that be very, very, very much separate from the George Lucas Skywalker era of things, for this main factor of you don't want things to be convoluted, and you don't want things to be compared and be broken down from the lens of George Lucas's work. If you move this show in, let's say this whole show took place in the Old Republic era, right? You don't even have to be this particular story. It can be any story, and you do things, and you have room to have fun with the story and play around with things canonically in regards to how abilities work, how other things work, because it's way before anything that we've talked about. I mean, obviously, you're not going to make an entire new lore up around the Star Wars universe. You have to stay within a certain framework, but you can play around with new things because it's not in any way connected to the previous stuff. Key example, look at a lot of stuff going on with the House of the Dragon series. That show takes place 100 years before any of this previous stuff with Game of Thrones, so they can do pretty much whatever they want with that series, and it won't have a major effect on the timeline because, again, it's 100 years out. And I think that's one of the biggest downfalls of this, was just the setting of the film and time-wise. And if they would have moved it around, like I mentioned in the other video, I think it would have been a lot better received. Now, two people had issues with it and other directorial aspects, and sometimes it just may not be for you, which is perfectly fine. I accept that as a thing. I'm not going to fight anybody on their personal opinion. And yeah, that's all my general sentiments and thoughts on the show. Again, I hope if they do get a second season, there are improvements made, a little bit more care taken into the specifics of making this show something that old fans and new fans can enjoy. Because again, although I think this is more marketed towards new fans going forward and bringing in the new generation of kids that like Star Wars, I do think it is disingenuous to not just be more attentive to the people that have gotten you to this point and that have been fans of this franchise and these characters for a long time. So again, I digress. This has been Captain Diesel, Captain Diesel's Dojo. Again, if you hate any of my thoughts and reviews and sentiments on this show, let me know in the comments below. I'm not above criticism. And again, if you agree with me, let me know that too. Again, I will see you guys next time. Peace.